Over the last few years, I feel like I've been becoming a newer version of myself that I didn't necessarily expect. I've been kind of struggling with being in between who I used to be and who I'm becoming. And kind of being in the same environment while feeling like I am so much different has been very difficult to navigate. It has even affected my creative endeavors. I've always been someone who has enjoyed expressing myself and sharing my insights about my favorite artists and musicians. For some reason, I've struggled to really settle into any of my creative endeavors. I've had so many fan pages dedicated to various artists. I've had two music commentary pages um, that both didn't last very long. And I had a blog that went through four separate name changes, which meant four separate charges to my card. So the question that I am posing today is there a such thing as starting over too much? My name is Cheyenne, and these are my insights. As humans, we're constantly changing, and for me, it feels like these changes have almost been involuntary, as if I've been pulled into a direction that I did not expect. These changes have kind of felt jarring, like I no longer resonate with people I've spent my whole life around. And that has caused a lot of friction, and it has led me to feel very uncomfortable in my own home in some ways. And I'm trying to figure out how exactly I'm going to get out of these situations. I've also been at a job for almost 7 years that was supposed to be very much temporary. So I'm kind of just trying to navigate all of these things, and I'm trying to create a life that is more aligned with the person that I'm becoming. That's been causing so much discomfort for me. I feel like when you are in a place where you start to feel disconnected from everything, it can only be a result of all of the changes that are happening within you. I've been led on this spiritual path where I just feel so much more open to spirituality and understanding that I'm in charge of my life. Um, I feel like I no longer, or I'm in a place of no longer wanting to feel like there's this entity that is in charge of making my life happen the way it's supposed to, or the way I want it to. Just the other day, I came to this realization that even though I'm on this new spiritual journey and I'm no longer a Christian, um, I was still um, placing Christian ideals and ideas onto this new journey that I'm on. I went from saying God to saying spirit, and I still had the same expectations of being saved, if that makes sense. This is a very new realization that I've come to. I was almost like, okay, well, I'm doing all the right things. So why does my life still look like this? And I remember feeling the same way when I was a Christian. Like, God, I'm a good person. I don't harm others. I'm compassionate, I'm kind. So why am I going through such a hard time? And that's where the resistance against Christianity really came from for me. I couldn't understand why suffering was happening to me, and it felt very, what word do I want to say? Unfair, really. At the end of the day, it felt unfair, and it just caused me to question so much. And that's not the only thing. I just feel like Christianity is used to justify some of the most heinous things, like homophobia and racism and all the various isms and transphobia and just bigotry in general. And I don't want to be aligned with that. So that's another reason why I kind of stepped back a little bit. The topic of starting over is very relevant for this channel because this is a new channel and I'm looking forward to being more authentic than I've ever been on this channel. And that's going to come with a lot of practice and patience with myself and showing up more consistently than I ever have with any other creative project I have pursued. I've always really valued authenticity, but I don't think I've ever really practiced it to its full capacity. I've always felt like I've had to perform because that's what so much of social media has become. It's become the perfect setup and the perfect quality and equipment and following a perfect script. But I don't want to do that, and I think society and the collective is craving more authenticity and more just transparency and vulnerability. That's the biggest thing. Allowing myself to be seen fully as I am has been something that I've been struggling with for since the beginning, really, since the beginning of me wanting to show up on social media to cultivate a community. I'm painfully aware of how deeply I want to be seen, heard, and understood. There's an irony of wanting all those things and being afraid of actually experiencing them. It's like wanting love, but knowing that to be loved is to be seen. And being seen is scary sometimes, especially if you have a history of being unseen. And that's been my experience for most of my life. And I didn't realize that till recently. Not to get into all my business too soon, but I realized recently that I always kind of assumed my parents loved me. It was like an assumption because, duh, your parents love you. Like, they brought you into this world. Like, hello. But I don't think that was necessarily validated always. So that's a recent discovery that I've made. And I'm kind of in a place of understanding that the love that I desire has to come from me first. If it didn't come from who it was supposed to come from, it has to come from me. And I'm willing to take on that challenge. And I don't necessarily I have my moments of resenting it, but I want to take on that responsibility because I understand the value of being in practice of loving myself before I can fully accept it from external places. A lack of experience with love, validation, and feeling understood has created this aversion for me, or like this fear, because I know so well what I want in my life, but sometimes understanding the steps that I have to take and knowing that I have to do things that are outside of my zone of comfortability scares me. It's so interesting how comfort can make you feel safe even when it's something that's harming you. So on this channel, I want to be talking about all types of topics. I want to talk about womanhood, spirituality, sexuality, astrology, all types of things, whatever I want to talk about. Like I mentioned before, I have always had music commentary fan pages, and I'd like to incorporate some of that into this as well because my relationship with music has always been very spiritual It has always been such a companion for me over the years, so I definitely want to sprinkle a little bit of the music in. Also, I'm someone who is like so comfortable doing absolutely nothing, and I want to change that about myself. So I'd love to do little vloggy vlogs when I eventually start exploring. I think I'm doing great because recently well, back in May, I went to Washington, D.C. and did a little solo birthday trip. So that was fun. And then last week, I did a yoga class. So I'm getting my feet wet. I'm doing things that are outside of my comfort zone. So I'm on a good path. Like, I'm proud of myself. And now I'm doing this. So this is another thing that I'm excited to incorporate into my life and start really pouring into. So back to our question, is there such thing as starting over too much? I don't think so. I think the answer is no. Like, I can say that with 100% certainty. But I do think there is a such thing as starting over before giving your idea or project or whatever type of creative endeavor the chance to really blossom. And I think that's been what I've really struggled with. Like, I give up too soon. Um and I think because I grew up where I grew up in the age of the internet where people became overnight successes and where virality really started, like early YouTube, people going viral because of their little silly videos and stuff. Like, that is that's created an expectation for me to like blow up overnight with every video that I share. And that's just not how it works sometimes. Sometimes slow burns are more valuable than a quick overnight success. And that's something that I really need to learn to accept because I don't want to be someone who feels like I failed just because I don't go viral. Like, that's not what this is about. I want to build an organic community of people who are interested in what I have to say and feel seen, heard, and understood, just like I want to feel. Like, I want to give what I'm looking to receive, if that makes sense. Like, I want to have a reciprocal relationship with my audience. It's hard not to feel shame about being a beginner at something. Like, I'm always that's what prevents me from pursuing so many of the things that interest me. Like, I don't want to be bad at them. And this is no exception. Like, sitting here in front of my camera right now, I'm like, girl, I don't even know if you're making sense for real. But like, you only get good and confident at what you are pursuing by continuing to let yourself build up the skill. It's a skill to know how to verbally express yourself in a way that makes sense, you know? And I believe that it does. Every time that I feel unconfident or insecure about what I'm saying in a video and I watch it back, I'm like, okay, I made some good points. So I believe that this will be the same thing. I'm hoping and praying that it will be the same outcome. But yeah, so the answer is no. There's no such thing as starting over too much, even though it can feel uncomfortable. I think if you feel like something is has seen the light of day and you're ready to start fresh on something else, I think it's good to know when it's time to do that. And I think that's the biggest takeaway for me from all my different creative endeavors that I have pursued. If you made it to the end of the video, I appreciate you so much. This was really just me rambling. I do have my notes, but I can get off topic sometime. I hope that something in this video resonated with you, and I am looking forward to continuing to show up here on this new channel, Insights with Cheyenne, and I'll see you in the next one.